conversations for change, because the world is ready. Here we are again. And I've been thinking again, so many threads coming together. I feel as if there is a great swirling of idea over my head, bringing together all the threads of these things that have been in my mind, in the conversations I've been having, and in the things I've been thinking about. It ties right back to the whole organic movement. Not only organic food, but organic human. What it is to be organic, to come from this place of being human, being living, tied to the earth, running through the heart, connected to each other through feelings and emotions. In the organic movement, what I see is that it makes sense, that the economy, and that's the other word that has been floating around in my head, the economy of scale is right. That what it takes in order to do the things we need to do, when we talk about, for example, growing food organically, what it takes is people. And that has been, it seems to me, the aim of the longer term movement of big agriculture over the last decades that comprise my life anyway, the removal of people from the system. But when we actually go back to growing food together, when we work the land together in community, whether that's a family or a community or an intentional community of some kind, or community gardens, or small farmsteads, what we learn right away is that what it takes to grow organically is human beings who are looking at, interacting with, and tending to the plants that we will consume as food. As a gardener and somebody who grows a lot of different plants, I know what it means to be on the ground and needing to check on and walk by and look at and observe and interact with all of the living and growing things that are in the space that I am caretaking. And as an organic farmer, what that means is there need to be more hands to really do the intensive organic farming the way it's done, for example, at Singing Frogs Farm in Sebastopol, California, where there is always an ever-changing crew of people who are learning, people who are expanding their own knowledge, who are expanding their own awareness of how all of these systems work together. And in that process, being part of the creation of all of this amazingly nutrient-dense, healthy, organic, living food. And I think that is the model of the future. And part of the reason I think that's the model is because it is at the human economy scale. In other words, what it takes to do it is just humans. You don't need huge investments in resources or huge investments in machinery or any other thing like that, to be independent and free and able to provide for yourself, your community, and your family. Oh, it takes work, no question, and it takes intelligent application of information. There is absolutely no question about any of that, but it is so doable, and the rewards are so worth it, because in that moment of bringing all together these parts, what we find is we enhance the environment, we increase the biodiversity, we increase the nutrient density, and we increase the ability for human beings to have direct input into creating something that makes them happy and proud and more intelligent about how to do things. It's another one of these win-win-win-win-win situations. And it has such potential. And the biggest potential I think that it has is that it connects us all to each other, to the earth, to the food we need to live, and to a way that interacts with each other and the world in an economy at human scale. It puts us back in control. And when I look out at all of the small farmsteads who are taking this on, all of the young people around in my own community who are setting up organic farms, working in teams, building something that brings forth beautiful, healthy, delicious, abundant food for our community, I could not be happier about it. It's why I go to farmers market every week. It's not only that I want the best produce available, and I don't want to have to grow every single thing I eat myself. It's that I absolutely want to be a part of something that has a future. I want to be part of something that is built on an economy that is acknowledging the human in the system. So much of our economy is built on things that are completely separate from and outside of what really matters in this world. I don't care if you're talking about investments or large corporations or the huge military industrial complex or big pharma. Any of those places you look, insurance, real estate, it doesn't matter. All of them are built on an unsustainable structure that requires massive amounts of resource and input and machinery and control that we don't have to get profits out at the other end for people we don't know. And when we look at the imbalance of the whole world, it seems clear to me that rebuilding our thinking about economy and human beings begins by thinking about the economy of scale, which is the economy of taking care of the human beings who are in the economic system. And that's why small works. That's why community works. That's why human-to-human interactions and organic require humans at every level. because it's the humans that bring back humanity into the equation. When everything we do is gatekept by automated systems of customer service computer protocols, we know we're headed in the wrong direction. When we can't simply solve a problem that's going on in our own lives by talking to another human being, then something has totally gotten lost in the way we function as people. And the other side of that is the economy of love that gets born when human beings interact. Because human beings do things with intent. And one of the intents that human beings have is love. And when we do things with the intent to uplift others and to bring more love into the world and to assist each other in finding our way together, we create something completely new and different. We've come to a place on this planet where, as some would say, the almighty dollar drives everything. It's all about the profit. It's all about the shareholders' earnings. These are all abstractions. These are not real. These are creations of the human mind. They have nothing to do with the real world economy of human beings or of the planet. And it's funny to think about it that way, because when you do, you understand just how far we have strayed from what really matters. And it's not like we did it on purpose. We made some bad left turn, or right turn for that matter. It's simply that our idea of economic freedom got caught up in a system of economics that drives the idea of the profit for the corporation ahead of the profit for the human being. And there's a long history of how we got here that I could spend hours talking about, but I'm not that interested in it. What I'm interested in is, where do we go from here? How do we come back to the place where the earth herself, the people on the earth, and all living things here with us become the most important part of our economic equation? And I think the way we get there is by returning to an economy of love. And in many ways, what that means is we have to move back into what the indigenous cultures would call the law of reciprocity. But it's much bigger than that, because there is a whole way of being that has been on this planet in the past, in just about every culture on the planet, where it was understood that nature was the giver of all good things, that our relationships with what was alive around us were the relationships that sustained us and kept us whole. And so we honored them and each other in a wholly different way than we do now. It's as if we've lost the thread that connects us to the idea that the holiest thing here is life itself. And that is the holiest thing here. The life that is our living planet, the life that is every living creature on it, and the life of each of us here experiencing it. That is the sacred that is here in our midst, that we seem to have forgotten. And when we come back to that knowing, we come back to a new kind of economy. Because there is no mundane dollar amount that can buy the sacred. There is no fee you can pay for the most beautiful sunset in the world. There is no admission price for the breath that gives us life. It's freely given. And I know these are radical ideas in one way to suggest that we could create an economy based on what is freely given. But I think that is where we have to start. We have to start by seeing that the human beings in the equation are the most important part of the equation. That the way those human beings live and are supported and are taken care of within the system of our quote-unquote economy is the most important function of that economy, and that the way we take care of all of life is the second most important. Maybe even those are flipped around. I don't know. What I do know is that when we come to this place where we stand in awe and gratitude of what life on this planet is and how amazing it is to be here, we come from a completely different place within ourselves. We give ourselves the freedom to connect to that divinity, that sacredness within ourselves, and to bring it forth through us into the world. But so long as we are still caught in the small version of ourselves, scrabbling for pennies on the ground, we will miss this incredible opportunity in front of us. We are standing on the precipice of something so amazing and so transformative. We have all the tools we need. We have all the information we need and all of the resource we need to turn this ship around and turn this planet back into a Garden of Eden, if we will but first recognize the sacredness of life itself, the sovereignty of the individual, and the blessedness of the opportunity to be here in the first place. When we do that, we look with fresh eyes. We're not looking for the problems. We're looking for the solutions. We're not looking for the bad guys. We're looking for the good guys. We're not looking for what went wrong. We're looking for what can we make right. And that is how we transform ourselves and the world into an economy of scale that is human scaled. We have the power to be a keystone species. It's a choice. But we cannot make that choice and condemn each other at the same time. We cannot make that choice and condemn the planet. They're counter opposites. When we step into a full knowing of our own value and our own deservedness to be here and what we can bring, everything changes. If we want that change to happen, the work we have to do begins within ourselves. It's not out there. We cannot find it by going out there and trying to fix what is broken. We have to go within first. We have to find what is not broken within us and bring that out into the world. And the amazing miracle is every single one of us has the power to do it. And more of us are doing it every day. And as we do, the world transforms. People are healed instantaneously. Whole situations completely turn around in the blink of an eye. Why? Because the consciousness of the human beings present has shifted to the place of possibility and opportunity and love, unconditional love, and a desire to do the best possible without attachment, without a need to have some special reward granted from out there. Because the knowing is that all the rewards come through us and move outward. That's the nature of a divine being in consciousness. A divine being in consciousness is aware and awake and in love with all of life. And sure, we're all human. We all stumble. We all make mistakes. We are all on the path at various levels. But that's why we have each other. It's our choice how this future plays out. There is no great savior who's going to come and fix it all. That concept is within us precisely because we are the ones who can become inspired to do the right next thing, the right best thing, the right thing in front of us that is calling us into action. And none of us know it for each other. It's an inside job. That's the real truth about all of this. It's always an inside job. I can't tell you any more than you can tell me. But that's the magic. Because each of us has something amazing to bring. And all we need is a supportive community to nurture us into the place where we become strong enough within our own being to trust that inner guidance and take those steps towards our highest, best version of ourselves. That's how the game is played. That's how we change the world. That's how we step into the organic future that is our birthright. The economy of love that changes the way we think, the way we act, and the way our world supports and nurtures us as human beings across the planet. We can do this. I know we can. Hasea natu e aho. He anatse itu. It is our choice. The direction we choose determines everything.